Welcome to Babbling Buffoons, all babbling, all buffoonery. I'm Alex.
I'm Jack, and today we are bringing you another video on AI interaction and how it can benefit us within our world.
Interesting. There are probably a lot of benefits to having AI with us in our world. What do you think? I want to know what you think on this at first.
No, seriously, what about exploration? Places we actually can't get to, bottom of the sea, bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, because I know I've seen videos to where we finally reached the bottom of the Mariana Trench and whatnot with like guided submarines and stuff and whatnot, but we probably wouldn't have been able to do that without probably AI and stuff, I would think. I don't know if I was involved with it. Like, I'm not going to quote that because I don't remember full much. I just remember we hit the bottom and stuff like that. But yeah, I did read a tiny bit though and saw that we have been using it yet to explore more of the ocean floor and whatnot and trying to figure out more.
Let me ask you this. What if we could get down there and actually mine the ocean floor if we found valuable minerals down there?
Oh, I guarantee you there's valuable minerals down there because we got, there's like thermal vents down there, volcanoes start, and islands even start from the bottom of the ocean, formed just from magma slowly flowing up and stuff building up, and magma's melted rock. Minerals are rocks, they're all flowing through. So I guarantee you I would not be surprised if we probably have an abundance of minerals on the bottom of the ocean floor. It's just we can't get to it because of all the pressure and whatnot from the ocean water. And on top of that, we don't really have machinery meant for mining the ocean floor like that, I think.
No, but with the AI technology and how it learns and how it stays up to date, it could give us that.
I mean, the AI could, but at the same time, we also have to look at, the human aspect of can we build the machinery to constantly withstand that pressure to keep doing that? Because if you think about it, the deeper we go down to mine, because when you mine, you dig deeper, to mine. Well, that's more and more water pressure added to the machinery and whatnot. So that eventually it'll get to the point to where it won't be able to function or work. So it's like, and we already have a difficult enough time having certain machinery, getting to
those depths.
Yeah, those depths and stuff like that. So that's the only, I think, difficult aspect part about that. Like, would it be great? Yeah. But for right now, I just don't think we technically have the capability.
Not right now. No,
so.
I don't think so right now. I mean, you've seen what happened to that CEO and his son and everything in the submersible. They got to a certain area and it just exploded.
Yeah, imploded from the pressure, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because the farther you go down, the more and more pressure it builds. So that's with machinery and mining and stuff. It's just the deeper they go down, the more pressure it's going to exert. And eventually, it's just going to reach a point. Then you think about it. Say you have a machinery that's 100-ton machine mining, withstanding that pressure, and then say it gets to a point it's trying to pull up now 50 tons of material on top of what it's, weighing itself with that extra pressure because it dig deeper down,
Well, other than mining, what do you think about possibly exploring like caverns, caves, crevices deep into our Earth's core?
That would be great, but besides the fact of pressure, now you have to withstand temperature and melting and stuff. Like, how long will it last to be able to withstand?
Depends on how far we got to go down and when that temperature starts rising.
But at the same time, though, do we technically have a core? Or are we flat? Because if we're flat, is there really a core? But that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's a different
whole different side topic.
We're talking about where AI can get us and how it can benefit us.
I think AI would benefit a lot in the medical field just for the simple fact is a faster diagnosis for diseases, cancer, stuff like that, being able to, come up with better ways or routes of surgeries or just simple procedures and
stuff. What about cleaning our oceans? AI being interpreted on that, like little robots that go around the ocean and clean it.
The thing
streams, rivers, stuff like that.
I mean, I think we have stuff like that now. I could be wrong and whatnot, but yeah, we definitely could do that. But at the same time, we got to turn around and look at the human factor on that part too. I lost my train of thought there. The more we can actually reduce on the pollution part, the less we could reduce on having to use AI for that stuff and could use it to focus on something better, to better humanity. But I'm more interested in, like, the ocean's great for AI, to use for the machinery to get it and stuff. But I would just rather it be more focused on in medicine, just for the aspect of, because we're constantly finding, new types of diseases and stuff like that. And imagine if we had AI being able to say analyze analyze it and be like, oh, it's kind of similar to other things. We might be able to break this down faster and could maybe find a cure for it faster, or find a treatment better.
You're interrupting money flow, revenue. All these drug companies want it and need it, and that's what they live off of.
But the thing is, eventually AI is going to replace them, because medical professions are going to want AI for better diagnosis and stuff like that. And eventually AI is going to get adapted to the point with all the records, the knowledge, the histories, the findings of science, that it'll just come down to a point where it'll be like, okay, this is what you have. This is what you need. That's it. And whatnot. And then, like, there won't be any other reasons for need to take this, this, and this. The system will just be like, no, you just need this. That's all you need. And then drug companies will get to the point, but then, the flip effect to that with the drug companies, what they'll do, they'll go, okay, if they're going to do that, then we'll just up the price of that specific, start upping prices of specific drugs and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
that's how.
But you're also going to have an issue with their upping prices and they're cutting jobs. How are people going to afford it?
AI is going to cut jobs no matter what in certain fields when it reaches a certain point. Like, that part's just inevitable, I feel like. But at the same time, though, some people might still, it just depends on how you grow up. Because if it gets to a point where people grow up not really talking to a doctor and they just talk to an AI robot, that'll just be a norm. We're used to actually still having a human interaction with people, giving us or telling us what may or may not be wrong with us. As to where kids nowadays are growing up with AI, they could eventually grow up to the point, to where they don't really talk to a person. They just walk in. Robot checks them in. They go into a room. Robot could eventually even come in or just, ask them, like, stand here. We're going to give you a scan or whatnot. And, could reach that point.
So you're in agreement, so I'm in agreement that it could help us in the medical field. What makes you not think that it will help us in other fields of such exploration, cleaning, doing things like that? I know you say human interaction. And the human itself are beings. Trash, filthy. You see people always throwing stuff on the ground, cigarette butts, paper, pop bottles, pop cans, stuff like that. But why can't it be beneficial to get us to that point of staying clean?
I mean, it can, but if you really think about it, look at how long recycling's tried to bring around and whatnot, and has it really benefited anything? Has it done anything? We still have landfills. We still fill up. People really don't recycle that much. The only ones that really do is if, like, they have trash bins or stuff, or if they're told to. Other than that, most people don't recycle, So, I mean, like, it can possibly help, but, I mean, I don't necessarily know how much it does help, and not saying and then on the side of exploration, not saying AI is not beneficial for exploration, it would help us. But my thing is this, it's like, for right now, what do we really need to explore the ocean floor? Ocean for right now. I would rather be exploring areas of land and wilderness,
caverns, caves, stuff like that people can't get into them tall.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely use it for that, because one, the farther you go in, the worse it can get. And then, if you've never been in, you could get lost. It's better to have use AI to go in, map it out and whatnot for researchers for then later purposes and use. Like, I definitely agree with using it for stuff like that and whatnot. But for cleaning up trash and garbage and stuff, I would leave that to humans to make it a reminder that they're the ones that caused it. So they should be the ones to pick it up, not leave it to a guided AI robot to do so.
So another benefit I see, and this is what I was just thinking while you're talking about it, was mining accidents throughout the world. Other countries mine, we mine here. Mm-hmm. Cave-ins, stuff like that. Why would we not want to use AI such as robots? You were talking about drones in our other episode. Why not maybe make a mouse or something like that can drill through a rock wall to get food in, water in to these guys while we're trying to save them and give us time?
I mean, it is a good idea to do stuff like that, but on a really small, quick note, how have we not figured out a better way to support mine shafts from collapsing?
maybe we have. I don't know. I don't dig into that, but it's
But-
always something there to, I mean, I get what the safety aspect is and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, we could definitely do that. Use AI to, because I mean, we could even design little creatures to possibly, route quicker areas. To be able to drill through faster that are either less debris or less chance of causing a bigger issue and stuff, or even just being able to get messages back and forth from the survivors and stuff and
Right, see
such
how they're
things
doing.
like that. Yeah, making sure that they're okay and stuff like that, and then they can even be used for later exploration, while certain areas are doing that, you can send them into darker areas. Because I know, I don't think all mine shafts have this and whatnot, but I know that I forget there's a natural clear odorless gas that can occur. I think it might be methane and whatnot that can cause explosions and stuff in mines and whatnot if
Yes.
they're not aware and stuff. So you can use AI for that aspect as well. Instead of sending in a person and whatnot to check to see if there could be samples of methane, send in an AI robot to get samples, test the
I
air.
do believe they have monitors for that. They could put down in the caves and they let them know if there's a buildup or anything. I do believe.
But I'm saying
not sure.
when they find a new place, like a new cave or
Oh.
something, or if they're getting ready to explore a new area, instead of sending a person in to see if there's methane in there, they could just have an AI guided robot go and be like, okay, we'll send this thing in, see if there's anything in there. If there's not, cool, we can go in. If there is, okay, we might have to suit up, leaves out that factor of everything. But I mean, AI has the capability to do so much, so beneficial wise and stuff. I mean, there's also other different fields besides, you got the aspect of science, just in so many different aspects of analyzing samples faster, records faster, pulling up, previous files and stuff like that instead of having to dig through archives of research and stuff. If you, helps out with that aspect, I would assume, and and everything like that. But what I want to know is on the flip side is some of these AI videos and stuff like that, because some of them are starting to reach the point where they look like real people.
Oh no, they really do. But
And-
the funniest ones are the Sasquatch, the Yetis, and everything.
Oh
Those are
yeah,
funny,
those.
so.
Oh yeah, straight up some of the best AI videos ever, and whatnot. But the other ones that I'd be seeing and everything like that, make you wonder, is that real? Because if they're already getting to that point, with just little short clips and videos, who's to say, what happens down the line? Because if AI gets to that point, it wouldn't be hard for someone to make a video, say for example, me, killing someone, and then going, oh, look what happened. And now I'm being jailed, for the possibility of this happening. But when they look into it, they're like, oh, it was just a fake video. It didn't happen. But the fact is that I was just jailed, arrested, and now assumed for being a murderer because the video looks so real as if I committed a crime, but I didn't. So that's the other big worry thing now we got to look at and wonder is with how these are getting, what's to stop people from doing that and stuff? Because, people nowadays work on computers a lot and do different things and make these videos and shorts because there's a lot of content creativity going on out there and stuff. So
What's in to say that they don't replace actors and actresses moving forward? I mean, if you look at it, you don't even need them anymore if they're getting that in depth with how all this stuff's looking. Because right now, you got cartoons, you got kids' movies, you got anime, you got all this other stuff out there that have no human beings in it, and they look good. It's scary at how well 4K helps everything look. Now put AI into that, they're going to generate movies, they're going to generate cartoons, they might even do commercials. You're looking at people being obsolete if we keep going that farther.
well, the thing is, the difference between those AI videos and all the other things you said, those things were either drawn or designed by actual people. You can see the subtlety differences in all of those and whatnot compared to those AI videos of actual people that look almost completely real. That looks like a real person compared to an anime, a cartoon, stuff like that. You can distinctly see the drawingness and stuff and different characteristics.
Yeah, but if we're going that route in the cartoon area and everything and how it's been there for so long, AI is going to replace people in doing movies. I mean, you can look right now at some of the AI out there and you can still see the people aren't really people. But a few more years,
Well, if I'm right, I think I saw something about supposedly that they've already created an AI looking actress in Hollywood and supposedly are going to cast it in a movie. If I saw the short right on YouTube and whatnot, I think I saw something talking about that. I'd have to double check that later, but I'm pretty sure I think I saw that and whatnot. And some people are already in an uproar talking about like AI is going to start replacing, like what you're saying, actors and actresses and stuff. Because if they're already creating one now and trying to put it in a movie or a TV show, what's to stop them from just, like, well, if we can do it with her, we don't need to do it with you guys and whatnot. Like we could have you put you in these movies and have you do really ridiculous stuff without you really need to get hurt or do this or do that. Like they would just probably then start paying people for their likeness. But then at the same time, when does that cross the line? Because someone could kind of look like me but not be me. And if I'm like, well, that's me, and they're like, well, no, that's a fake person. There's no comparison to you. Yeah. Well, they really look like me, and whatnot. Well, it's not you.
Well, if they create robots, you already see overseas, and I'm sure here in the United States, they're making robots, and they're going to have skin, they're going to have eyes, they're going to move similar to us. If that gets advanced, they could use those. They can use those in everyday life. Heck, I might buy one to be a maid. I might buy one to, pay my bills for me just because they're going to be more accurate and saving me money. You never know what's going to happen, but they could make them to replace a lot of stuff in life. Actresses, actors, maybe garbage men, maybe warehouse workers like we talked in the last podcast, but they're going to look like us.
Yeah, because if you think about it, it keeps the human factor, so there's the interaction aspect and whatnot, but with the fact that it's a robot, it's never guaranteed, it's not supposed to mess up, so you should have perfect records of everything and whatnot. There would be no human error.
Well, back in 2023, a guy overseas, he actually made a robot and married her, and I believe this was in Japan, because he felt so much pressure from his family and friends to find a wife. And at 36 years old, he married a robot, and it was legal. They allowed him to do it.
I don't see why not. I mean, why can't you marry a robot? Why not? I mean, I think I remember seeing something long ago, if I'm right, a dude married themselves, I believe, or a woman married themselves. Like, I remember reading a story about someone was able to legally marry themselves.
Never heard that.
Yeah, so like, if you can marry yourself, why can't you marry a robot? I mean, as far as I'm aware, there's no law that says you can't marry anything.
Actually, I do believe the United States actually has something about that.
Well, maybe not like specific family members you might not be able to marry.
Look that up.
And whatnot, but like, I'm talking just like random objects. Like, as far as I know, I don't think there's a law that says I couldn't marry my cell phone, or I'm saying, just something random like that. Because like, one, who would think anyone would want to do that? And then two, if they did, who would have the audacity to keep going with it?
A lot of people. I think a lot of people, and I think a lot of people moving forward into the evolution of humanity would marry a woman robot or marry a man robot, because as you see now out in the world today, there's not a lot of human interaction unless you're in college, or unless you're at work, or unless you're in school as kids, when you develop those friendships with people.
Yeah, because
a lot of people don't have that interaction with each other.
Yeah, because everything's going to social media and stuff. Yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised.
Which is fake. Social media is fake. Everybody puts on a show.
Yeah, everyone puts on a show and whatnot. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised here soon about people buying robots, because then, one, you have a person that you can literally set up and be designed to how you want to be. So then if for some reason it does something to make you mad, you have only yourself to blame, because you're the one that programmed it and whatnot. You can't blame
exactly
the robot and whatnot and stuff. And then also, too, like you said and whatnot, it gives people that interaction and whatnot, to where they can come home knowing that someone's always there for them no matter what. Even though it's a robot,
no, they're still there.
Yeah, they still have that person there. Yeah.
And it's not even a person. We can't even say person. They have that entity there to talk to interact with.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. It's going to happen. Yeah, especially if they incorporate robots into people's homes, AI into people. We already have AI in people's home with our computers, our cell phones. Just pick your cell phone up and you can get AI. But
you go to Google, you type something in, the first thing that pops up is the AI thing, and then after that it gives you the suggestion for like websites and stuff like that to go to and whatnot. So like, yeah, AI is already incorporated and stuff. It's just the question is how fast will it go, like advancement wise? Like, will it advance too fast? Will it advance too slow? Or Do we have the ability to control its advancement to what we want?
I think 5 years. I think 5 years you're gonna have robots of some sort, other than like your little robots you have in the house sweeping up your floor and stuff. I'm not talking them. I'm talking actual robot in your house. I think within 5 years people will be able to buy. Whether or not they can afford them, I think.
Yeah, that's a whole other question, right?
I think
there.
you'll be able to buy them.
Do you think it'll eventually be a point to where the common man could buy a robot, or do you
Yeah.
think it'll just?
I think honestly, you're looking at probably the first robots to come out. I think I seen something along the rounds of $150,000. You can buy your robot when it comes out. That's just now. I don't know if 5-10 years down the road they're going to be more, but it's like this. As soon as technology hits the market and more people do it, it's easier to buy. It's going to be cheaper. And I think that eventually you're going to find them cheap enough to where people are putting them in their houses, and it's going to be like a computer. You're going to have to update them. When that runs out, you're going to have to buy upgrades. You're going to have to do everything to keep them going. But I believe, 5-10 years. And I think closer probably to 5.
Now, do you think we'll get to the point where we'll integrate AI into our own brains? Like,
Yeah, it's already there.
Like, do
Elon Musk's already got that.
Right, the
With
whole
that chip.
the Neuralink thing or whatnot?
Yeah, and I've seen a guy with it. Like, he actually could just sit there and think, and that computer in front of him does everything he's thinking about. He can't move his body. He thinks, and it's there.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
Scary,
I think
but cool.
they said he tried gaming and never missed a shot. I'm not sure on that. I could be mistaken, but if that's what I remember is correct, yeah, he tried it on gaming and it was amazing. Like he's whatever that is. We can't use your
I want to say no.
paralegic. I don't know. We're babbling.
Paraplegic, I think, is the term.
That might be it.
I think that's the proper term. I could be wrong on that, but I do
yeah.
think that's what. I mean, either way,
I think he was the first human to have that incorporated, and I don't think that was Elon Musk Neuralink. I think that was somewhere down in Mexico or something like that.
I mean, either way, I mean that's still pretty awesome to think about. But at the same time, see, my thing is like I also see that as a flip of a coin. Like I kind of would want it because it would be cool to be able to instantly access any information that I want having a Neuralink.
Dangerous.
But that's the other side of the flip coin is at any point in time I could just be walking and all of a sudden, I get stopped because someone hacks into my Neuralink and they're like, I control you now, you're mine. And there's nothing I could do because, they've got control of me. I can't speak. I can't, because that's what a Neuralink would do, would connect to your brain, which which your brain connects to your whole body. So the moment you get hacked, that's it. That'd be the only downfall, and stuff. Now, the other thing I'm curious about, even though it's a movie, I've never seen it, I need to watch it, is the movie STEM, where the dude gets the thing put in his neck after, like, some guys beat him up and stuff. He gets a neural implant put in his neck. He lets STEM take over, and when he does, he's kind of, like, moving faster and stuff because STEM can react to the situation faster. I wonder if that could also be incorporated with AI. Could, like, that technically start a whole wave of super soldiers? Because with AI being involved, you'd be able to, can make your body react faster because it sees it before you technically do. So it reacts your body.
I'm sure they're trying that already. I'm sure they're trying. Some country somewhere is trying that.
You think that someone's out there doing that already, throwing Neuralinks in there and using them?
if you in the last podcast, you mentioned that girl that had the hand that could move.
Yeah.
That's incorporating that kind of aspect to a human body. Why not try it to make person run faster, run longer, eat less, consume less,
sleep less, because the less sleep and more active that they are and whatnot, I mean, who knows what it could do and whatnot. It'll be like I said, it can be an impressive thing, it can be a great thing, but at the same time, it can also be a very dangerous thing.
I think we're looking at robots in our life faster than we're looking at that.
Yeah.
Because the Neuralink, I don't know if a lot of people are going to do that. Hey, would you get a Neuralink and let's say 10 years down the road something happens to you? Would you want that downloaded into a robot so your memories could keep living? That's another dangerous thing right there.
Well, and then see, at that point in time, technically, are you still considered human because just your memories and stuff are downloaded? Or are you now considered an AI consciousness because you're not in a human body and you're just memories of an old person? You're not creating nothing new in a sense because you're not a human. You're now in a robot body.
Yep.
So, like, do you now go from being considered a human conscious at that point to an AI conscious, or Like I wonder how that would go. And then at the same time, yeah, how many people would be willing to do that and whatnot?
But you know, you brought up something a while back about marrying yourself or marrying a robot. And would I agree people would do it? Yes. But would that actually be considered as a dependent? When we marry or when you have children, you have dependents. Now, would the robot be classified as a dependent, or would that robot just still be classified as something else? Because if it's not classified as a dependent, could you actually consider marrying that and having that as a wife or a husband?
Well, I mean, if the one dude, like you said, married his robot and whatnot, was able to do it, everyone else should be able to do it. But the thing is I wouldn't classify it as a dependent, and the reason why I would say that is because with it being a robot, it just recharges itself like using electricity and whatnot, just like other little robotics that we have and whatnot. So, and the fact of the matter is that it wasn't, it wasn't created, through procreation. It was created in a factory and whatnot. Brought to you.
He did this in his house. He's an engineer.
Well, I'm just saying, at the point you're talking about down the road where people can have access, like you're saying, to those robots and stuff like that.
That actually move and that's actually interactive.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Yeah, I wouldn't consider them a dependent because all there is just a robot you purchase to have at your home for your company for whatever your reasons are and stuff like that. I wouldn't consider them a dependent. Again, because like I said, they recharge off a battery. They're programmed to how you want. They're not an actual person that was raised, brought up, and stuff like that. They don't go out to work to function.
Well, now let's rephrase that. They don't go out to work as of now.
Well,
but if they could go out to work.
Well, if they could go out to work, then you'd have to change it differently because you'd have to give them rights at that point because they'd have to be treated like.
How do you give somebody rights?
How do we get rights? Who gave us rights technically? We gave ourselves rights, so we can give them rights.
Exactly what our governments allow rights to an entity that, in their mindset, isn't living, because you can turn it off with a switch.
Okay,
it's not eating, it's not breathing. But let's say you go out and you buy one. Let's say it's $150,000. You invest into a robot because you're wanting her or him or it, however it is. With all these pronouns, I never know what to say. But if you have this and you spend $150,000 and you have a job and you're working, why wouldn't you want that as a dependent to put insurance on it? So if something majorly did happen within a couple of years, you could afford the upgrades. You could afford the fix because it's not going to be cheap. People are going to charge an arm and a leg.
Is your car considered a dependent?
Nope,
is your house a dependent?
No.
But you can put insurance on them, right?
You know why insurance is on a car?
But no, I'm just saying in general, you can put insurance on those, but they're not classified as a dependent, correct?
Exactly.
So then a robot being a piece of machinery like a vehicle with wires and circuitry in the same aspect and whatnot, I, again, still wouldn't consider it a dependent. You can put insurance on it just like we can have insurance on us.
But would our jobs allow that insurance to be put on it, knowing well enough? Because we can't go to our work and say, I need car insurance on a car.
Well, that's where different insurance companies would come in and stuff. And more than likely, what I would also possibly assume is that the manufacturing company that you buy the robot from would probably sell an insurance package with the robot to be like, hey, if anything happens, because I mean, at the time, they were the only ones that make the robots, so they're the only ones that could fix it. So I would possibly make the assumption that they would incorporate.
They would probably give you a warranty. But I don't think they're going to give you an insurance policy. I'm talking insurance policy on something just like we would for a human, right? If we had an insurance policy on our kids, on our spouse, maybe it's a dependent that's living with you, a grandfather, a mom, a dad, a grandma, an aunt, an uncle, a sister, whatever, and you're taking care of them full time. You can claim them as a dependent. You can carry insurance through your insurance policy. You have insurance on a car because why? We don't need it.
No.
The reason why we have it is because they want money out of our pockets to cover somebody else's accident. What happens when AI starts driving us? It's already happening. Look at Elon Musk.
Tesla cars or whatnot?
Yeah, they're driving themselves. They can get you there. He's almost there to where it's going to be out there in the world, and every dealership, every manufacturer will make it that way. If we have AI driving us and they say it's 100%, why are we going to have insurance? We have insurance now because human error costs lives. Human error costs damage. But if you want insurance on your robot, it's going to have to be some type of other insurance because that robot is not going to cause lives to die, we would hope.
But at the same time, when you look at it, if say AI is driving everyone around, who's going to cover the insurance on that? Because what's to say a malfunction doesn't happen, the car crashes, you're injured, and
I'm
whatnot.
sure that's going to go against the manufacturer. That's
Because it's like if I don't need to pay for car insurance because I'm not the one driving anymore, do I still need to now technically pay insurance to the company that's driving, like to the vehicle place that's like driving me around because I no longer need to? Because my thing is, if you're no longer driving the vehicle ever, why do you need to pay car insurance for anything?
No, I get that. I don't think I have insurance, but I don't think you should have to have insurance. I think
with the robot, it's just like, I think for the time being when it would first come out, I don't think anyone would do the whole insurance thing or try to do anything like that because they would just see it as you buying an expensive purchase or doing something like that. I don't think it would be until probably down the line when they got more advanced, got kind of more normalized to see more things to happen.
Right.
Then I think that's when certain things would then possibly try to start changing and stuff like that. Because if you really think about it, the rich people would buy those robots, and the amount of money they would spend, they would want to put some kind of tax thing in there to be like, look, I want to find a way to claim this or write this off where I can get some of my money back for spending this much and whatnot. Because they definitely would.
Oh, definitely.
So that's why I said in the beginning and whatnot. Again, I still say no, I don't see it as a dependent in the beginning, but as time would go on, I guarantee it then would change to where they would be considered dependencies or maybe a partial tax write-off or something like that, depending on, how much you spent on it, what warranty package you bought with it and stuff like that. Because isn't it like if you donate a car or something, you can write that off on your taxes?
Yes.
Or,
I'm not sure in every state, but I do think so.
But yeah, like if you can donate different things and stuff like that, so like, you can maybe even do that. Like they might change the taxes to where, say, if you donated your robot to someone in need or just a family that needs it, write that off on your taxes and stuff. I mean, if you spent 150 grand on that robot and then you gave it away, that'd be a good tax write-off. Because I mean, if I can write off if I spent 20,000 on a car, give it away to someone and write it off on my taxes, I don't know how much it would be. I've never done it before. But I would assume I would want to be able to do the same thing with a robot like that. If I'm spending $150,000 on it and I then just give it away, want to be able to, write that off on my taxes and get a little bit back. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely. But no, I would definitely tell you that I believe people in general will marry a robot. I think you'll see that within the next 50 years that people won't be married to people.
Oh no, it'll get to a point to where that'll become a rarity to where people be walking and be like, oh, you're married, and then be like, which one of you's, I would say the word like synthetic in a sense, for the to like ask like who's the robot. I don't know what proper term like might be used, to be able to identify them and whatnot, but if you've come to find out, if like you hear two people like, oh no, we're both humans, they'd be like, oh, that's a rarity, to see two people actually get married and stuff like that and whatnot, just because of how the world and stuff's going like that. Yeah, a lot of people would rather marry a robot that they could design and function how they want and do stuff and whatnot, and not have to worry about anything. Yep. Having to come home to worry that it did something you didn't like or went off in, just anything in general.
Yeah.
Same thing for vice versa for man or woman, And
then what's not to say you get a robot and say, I'm going to program it to go do my job at work and I'm going to sit at home.
Now, I
understand companies won't allow that, I would hope, but
Well, and the thing is, too, is
I'm
I
gonna
know
make one that looks just like me.
Well, and that's what I was just about to actually say is what I think people would do and what companies would do is they would put scanners in front of the buildings and stuff like that to scan you to identify if you're human or not, or some way to figure
a metal
out it.
detector or something.
Something like that to figure out, because I guarantee the moment that people could buy a robot and have it look like they want and design and stuff like that within certain legal limits of likeness and stuff like that, because obviously like if people could buy a robot, an AI robot to look like whatever, there'd be a lot of celebrities that would be filing lawsuits because they would be seeing themselves walking around everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, because definitely people would try to definitely make copies of themselves.
Billy and Hunter just got us that in the United States, you cannot legally marry a robot.
What?
No.
Why? In all states? Or...
It is the requirements for marriage is legal personhood.
What?
Yes.
What does that mean? Like legal personhood, meaning I have to have a social security number? Because doesn't that technically what identifies you as a person?
Legal personhood is a marriage. Both parties must be legal person with the capacity to understand and agree the contract. As of 2025, the U.S. jurisdiction. Yeah, that's actually a recent Ohio bill. So in Ohio, you cannot marry a robot, an AI,
So even if I
because an AI cannot gain personhood to enter that marriage.
So even if I program this thing to act like a person and everything like that, because it's technically not basically born to be a person, I can't marry it.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
I mean,
But here's my thing too. At the same time, that kind of saves me hassle, because then if I get married to a robot, now I got to pay more taxes to the government. When I go to write stuff off of my taxes, I got to do more and whatnot because I'm married. So I mean, technically that kind of works. And here's my thing: if you love the robot, what do you need a piece of paper for to be together? You're already with it. Just be with it. You know.
that's almost dead. We got like 5 minutes.
Oh, we got 5 minutes left.
So, no, I mean, thing is I'm not going to marry my robot.
I'm not just.
If I had one, I'm not marrying it.
I mean, what would be the point, though? I mean, like, now here's my thing. Like, I don't say that in a negative term or mean and whatnot. Like, obviously, if someone wants to marry
you
it,
do.
because you know,
You do.
me.
Yeah, you're against marriage. I know. That's all right.
It's not that I'm against marriage. Okay, I just personally don't see the point anymore of going downtown to file paperwork to get married and stuff like that. If you want to be with the person you love, just be with the person you love. That's just it.
What if you love your robot? You're just going to be with your robot, right?
Yeah, I'll just be with my robot. What do I need a piece of paper for that says we're together? I'm literally with my robot. That's all the together I need. I don't need a paper telling me that. And that's the point that I reached about marriage and whatnot. That's why I don't feel I need to get married again. If I want to stay with if I find a woman and be with a woman and stay with her, I'm just going to stay with her. I don't need a paper telling me that. All the paper does is cause problems.
Yep. But we got to wrap this up. It's getting late. But yeah, definitely, guys, if you're watching this video, would you guys marry a robot? And if so, what would you guys want some of the programming to be and why? Let's see those in the comments. We'll read them and we'll try to comment on those.
And then on top of that, if you don't think you should marry your robot, let us know why about that as well, because we'd like to hear the other side of that topic as well. Throw it in the comments. We'll get through them, and we'll get back to when we can. Thank you for watching. This has been Babbling Buffoons. Again, all babbling, all buffoonery.
Go. Man, that picture's so small, Billy, that you said. Oh, Hunter said, yeah, that is small.
I just screenshot it.
No, that's perfect.
I was talking.